going out there tonight?
Well, you stumped me now.
Check out our website, mannimalresearch.com. Thanks to everybody. Hello. How's it going out there tonight? As always, Mr. Jasper is late. Last one coming on. Appreciate that, buddy. Hope everyone is doing well out there tonight. Those of you that will catch it live with us tonight, those of you that will watch it later. Either way, we appreciate it, guys. Appreciate the support. Thank you so very much. Hope everyone is doing well out there. And joined tonight, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Derek Jasper Walls. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
And as you can tell down there below us, we got another member of Mannimal, Mr. Daryl Owen. How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. How is everybody? Hope everybody's doing good tonight.
Good deal. Did you have something you wanted to add there, Walls?
No, I was good.
Well, what's been going on with you gentlemen? Either of you jump in.
Work.
Pretty much work. Yeah.
Work.
Work. There's three of us. There's three works.
Yep.
So
gotta make that money.
And taking care of my babies.
You got plenty of them.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got out here. My dad is on the Facebook. What's up, Dad? Got Mr. Michael Hexum also. My brother is on here. Jonathan. Brookham, Bama Bigfoot. Miss Chelsea Stewart, regular. Thank you, ma'am. Linda Thompson, thank you, ma'am. Sandra Piper, another regular, thank you. Oh, Squatching Cowboy, what's up, Joe? And Scottish Wildman was the first one on deck.
Yep.
Appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I think what we're going to do, we always ask you guys, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Check us out. Check out our website, mannimalresearch.com. Check us out on Facebook, Mannimal Research on Facebook. If you guys have questions tonight's going to be kind of an open forum type thing. So you guys have any questions at all tonight, send them our way. But please, we ask that you put them in all caps. It makes it easier for our boy Walls there to catch him, for me to catch him, and to get him on here. So, guys, just put them in all caps if you don't mind. And, of course, Mannimal Encounters, we're still accepting those encounters, guys. Send those to mannimalEncounters@yahoo.com. We would appreciate that. All right. Tonight we're going to like I say, we're going to have a little bit of an open forum. And, the last time when we had Daryl on as a guest, it's been, God, how long has it been, Daryl? Do you know?
About a year and a half.
It's been a while since you first came on and told your story. And, we were small then. And back then, we're small now. We were much smaller back then. And your story opened a lot of eyes, dropped a lot of jaws, and it occurred to us that we've got a lot of new people, that probably haven't heard about you and some of the things that you found and witnessed and stuff. So thought we'd bring you back and let you share some of that stuff with our new people, if you don't mind. So, man, the floor is yours. Give us a little bio real quick. What got you into it? How long you been doing it and all that good stuff?
Okay, well, back in 1992, I used to live in Northern California in the Klamath region, Crescent City, Klamath, California. Actually had my son had an encounter with a Bigfoot. I didn't believe him. I thought it was going to be a Halloween gag. and went out and actually witnessed a bunch of footsteps in some mud, and went back into my home. And because I was from the city, I didn't realize that living out in the country. I made a phone call to the police department. And back in the 90s, they used to have a Radio Shack used to sell these radios called trunking systems, where you could listen to officers be able to talk to each other. Well, my story went to the police officer, went to the triplicate, and it went from there. I ended up actually casting 34 footprints. If anybody out there knows who Al Hodgson is, he actually lived in Willow Creek. He came up there and investigated with us, taught me how to make a bait trap, and actually showed me how to cast my prints and actually search for Bigfoot while I was there. Unfortunately, during the 90s, and I lived in a very small area, about 600 people, give or take. The community didn't accept me, and my home was vandalized. I got chased out of the community. A couple of weeks later, I ended up getting divorced and ended up going my separate ways from Klamath and my wife, ex-wife. I shouldn't call her my wife, my ex-wife. But to make a long story short, I've been doing it for 27 years. I have not stopped. I went dormant a little bit for a while. I had some medical things I had to take care of ahead of time, but I got remarried, and my wife and I now, Kelly, we now do Bigfoot and paranormal research. We've seen a lot of paranormal stuff, and we still do a lot of Bigfoot investigations. I did start.
Daryl, let me interrupt you real quick. Today is actually Daryl and Kelly's 26th wedding anniversary, so I want to say happy anniversary to you guys.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. 26 years, and we've been doing research and investigations since the day we got married. So,
no, sorry to interrupt.
That's all right, sir. Thank you. So we ended up moving to California. We went to Northern California, and we did a lot of investigations. I actually started with another group. I was a founder with another group. I stayed with that group for about 3 years. And then I kind of jumped the fence out of there. I got out of that one. And I decided that I would create my own, which is NCBPRA down there right below my name. It's the Northern California Bigfoot Paranormal Research Adventures. And you can go to .com and look it up, and you can see our whole our biography there. But we've been doing Bigfoot research for a long time. And then Kelly and I decided that we were going to move, and I got a hold of Wayne, Mannimal Research. I shared a lot of my secrets, a lot of my stuff with Wayne. I had watched a couple of his shows. I was very impressed with his show, and I've watched a lot of shows. And I sent Wayne a lot of paperwork and some things that I have. And we've been doing, thank you, Mr. Seltzer, I appreciate it. And thank you, Jonathan, I appreciate it. And we've been doing research ever since. I've casted a lot of prints. I do have one of 6 handprints that were ever casted in the United States. 2 of them have been proven a hoax. And 4 of them are a legitimate print. And there's one of them right there. It's that. Look at which hand is the big one there. You see that? And I'll be showing you that one kind of closer to the other end. But I do have I have some of my best footprints sitting here beside me. And I have a measuring tape available. If anybody wants to know the measurings and the size of the footprint, I will be showing some of those. But I am now part of the Mannimal Research. I'm glad to be a member of them. And I will be going out with them on a paranormal hunt here May 2nd. And then we will pick up Bigfoot researching in a couple of weeks. So we're ready to go, and I hope Mannimal's ready to go because we're really ready to go. So, and I've done a few TV shows. If you don't know, you can Google my name. My name is Daryl Owen. I was on A&E's Ancient Mysteries. I was on A Sightings. I was on a show called The Pacific Coast Trail. And I was on another show. It was done by Scott Harriet called Squatch Dome. And that is a published DVD out there. But I've done a lot of TV shows, and I hope to continue my television shows here, showing evidence and going out with the group. I've been asked here recently to go back to California and do a 3-day overnighter with somebody. I'm considering it, but I don't know if I'm really going to do it. I just told Wayne and Jasper when I was off air that I'm afraid of the dark, believe it or not. It's kind of sounded weird. I'm not afraid of going out and searching for Bigfoot and hairy monsters, but I'm scared to death of the dark. So, you know, that just rules that out. Okay. Mm-hmm. But that's me. That's everything with me. I've written a book. If you want to read the book about my childhood, it's called Disquieted Echoes. You can get it at Barnes and Nobles or Amazon, eBay, things like that. So it is about my childhood and how I got started in a lot of this. All right.
All right. Daryl, you want to, which way you want to take it first? Because you've got a very, very interesting story about a find that you guys had out in the woods out there in California, and then we got the cast that you can go into. Which way you want to take it?
Yeah, we can start with you want to start with the skull?
Yeah.
Dan.
Let's do that.
1 to 2.
Hold on, we got a question real quick.
Okay.
Let's get this one out of the way. That's from my brother, Jonathan. Daryl, can you share with us your most memorable encounter, Bigfoot or paranormal?
Well, I will give you both.
I'd say that's probably your first one, wasn't it? That
was my first one. I actually got within 30 feet of my first one. He was beige, about 7 foot tall, about 400 pounds. I was actually trying to get up around another log. There was a very large log laying down there. And over to the left, there was a large hole, and there was 2 red glowing eyes inside this log. And you could see, now when I say her, just remember that I know for a fact that it was a female, okay? And I know the one that I saw was a male, and you just know the difference. So I was looking in the hole. There was 2 red eyes rocking back and forth, just kind of swaying back and forth, kind of slow. And I told the person that I was with, Scott, I said, I'm going to go up around the right-hand side of this log and try to come in behind her. And as I got up on a stump, there was a stump just to the right of me, about 15 feet. Got up on a stump, had my, back then it was a handheld camcorder. And I was filming, trying to get around, and a male stepped out from around a tree. I watched him I filmed him for 29 seconds. I actually felt very endangered, if that's the right word. He scared me bad enough. I watched it, actually, the whole story's about 1 minute 30 seconds, but I filmed him for 29 seconds. The camera got real heavy. I actually slid down my lap, and believe it or not, I actually started to cry. And I've said this before, but I did urinate my pants. I turned my back on him because I thought I was about ready to die. I was very frightened, and I was so scared I blacked out and hit the ground. And then my partner came over, Scott came over and got me up off the ground. And he was asking me, "Bud, what did you see? What did you see? What's going on?" He cussing a lot, and let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Well, all I could remember is that I thought I was going to die because the way it looked at me, this creature, I could see him from his groin up. But the way he looked at me, it was like, you come one more step closer, and I'm going to tear your arms off and beat you with them. It scared me, and I was military then too. I'm not afraid of a lot, but I really am. I was really terrified at the time. but it was very supernatural. I think you guys call it spirit talk or something, some kind of talking. I call it telepathy. It made me feel like I was, like it was talking to me in my mind, telling me don't come any closer. So that's what I was doing. And that was my first memorable one, most memorable one. And then about 17, 18 years ago, Kelly and I lived in an apartment, and the apartment had a fire in there. And the fire had, we're not sure if it had killed somebody, but the fire was bad enough. And we actually recorded on video a headless or a head with no body. And we had things coming off the mantle in our fireplace. We actually had our fireplace open. That's Kelly's first time ever experiencing paranormal, and that's where she got hooked. And for months we slept with the lights on, but we did have to see shadow people, and after a while it did stop. We actually moved because it got so bad. And then we headed back for Maine, and that's where we ended up in Maine. We bought a house out there. So that's our paranormal story and our Bigfoot story.
Okay. Appreciate that. You want to go into the skull now? I got some pictures we can put up.
Sure. Okay, now this was found in 2018. And let's see, I'll have Wayne pull it up here. There we go. So if you take a look at that, that is a skull, bones in front of it. It's very elongated. And I will tell you that the men in black are for real. So when this all happened, we were out doing an investigation. We came across this, made a phone call, and ended up being told to leave. Weren't allowed to stay there. We had a lot of police come, and we had this truck full of was 4 men in hazmat suits with a black truck. Came and picked it up, cleared it out, and we were told that we couldn't investigate there anymore. And that was our big story there. That was they took it. We never took pictures of it, but being in the military, I didn't want to go down and get my footprints all around down there because there would have been an investigation, but there was no investigation. They just came and got it, picked it up, and drove away. So, and we had our visit with the men in black and a El Dorado County sheriff, because this was taken up where our family's at, what I call our family. A lot of people say they have family members. Well, this was our family, but that is a very elongated skull.
Okay. Now y'all found this, and you did the right thing. You went and you called the authorities, and the police showed up first. You said? Yeah,
the sheriff showed up first. Went down, take a look,
and then
came back up, made a phone call, and there was a black F-250 extended truck, no license plates, no nothing on there. 4 guys got out in hazmat gear. Couldn't see their faces. Went down and picked up all the bones, skull, put it in their truck, drove away. Then they pulled Kelly and I apart, and they talked to us for a few minutes. I continued. I told them that I wanted to continue my search there, and they said, no, you have to leave. So we rolled down a little ways from that spot, and about 10 minutes later, there was helicopters above us. So it didn't do us a whole lot of good to stay there, but they knew that we had found something because we've never seen it since then. That area was cleared out, and every time that we did go by there or go back there was always a sheriff there. They knew we were going or coming from there. Kelly and I had a very specific spot where we used to go and see our family and leave them little gifts and things like that. This was probably about a mile from there. This was around the lake basin. But you can see both eyes. The skull is elongated. Wayne, can you show the smaller pictures? The smaller one?
Yeah. There you go.
So if you look to the right of the cone there, those are our bones. They're probably rib bones. But that's, that is the whole, you guys, the government is in everything. You can't get away from it. And now, when I used to have this, I used to always talk about the skull. I'd show people the skull picture. And there's always problems. There's always problems when you get, I should have just taken it, is what I should have done. But I did the right thing. I didn't know it was not a human skull. So, yep.
Daryl, you got a couple of questions from before. One's from Chris asking about when y'all were out. Do y'all camp in a tent or a truck or a trailer?
Actually, I don't do night times. We don't camp at all.
Yeah, he covered that.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. My childhood was wrapped up in a lot of darkness. I'm just afraid of the dark. There's things in the dark that go bump in the night. I don't like the dark. I don't like the nighttime. I sleep with the TV on. So that's one of those things. But I will go out with people during the nighttime. But if I will get back in a car, if I have the ability to leave, if I get scared, I'm gone. So.
Well, that brings me to a question.
Okay.
Since you guys get ready for Sunday, since we'll go ahead and pop the show, I'm going to give you a teaser. He's supposed to be out in the night with me this Sunday. We're having another live at the battlefield. So we'll see how long this man lasts unless he leaves me by myself. So you guys tune in for that.
Here's the deal about Sunday. Is that I've got my guardian angel sitting in the front room right now, and if I'm with her, she's very logical, and Wayne knows that she's very logical. She's if she sees something, she's going to go right to it. Me personally, I will be tugging on her coat, going, "Babe, come on, let's go back, and she will walk right to it. So
yeah, and to be clear, you guys won't be together. That's the point in having two of you. We're going to separate. You guys are going to separate. I'll be controlling from here, running the show like we did last time. And these two guys are going to go out with their brides, their lovely brides, and separate and do their own thing. And one thing Walls brought up before the show, I think is pretty cool, is they're going to do like some knocks and stuff and see if they can hear, because we do hear. I hear a lot that some of the confusion in the woods is people, when they do a knock, is sometimes you might be hearing another research team knocking, responding to you. So that's something I've been curious about, and something I've been wanting, an experiment I've been kind of wanting to conduct, is getting a couple teams out there, getting some space between them, and actually seeing if, how far away you can be and still hear someone else knock. So that's something else we're going to be doing.
Yeah, but even though I'm afraid of the dark, I do have my brave one in the front room right now. So I will be hanging on the coattail.
And I'll tell you, from the time that we went out, the three of us, Daryl, his wife Kelly, and myself, she was leading the way. There was times that we couldn't see her almost, that she was so far ahead of us. So she doesn't seem to be afraid of much. And
I will be armed, so that'll be all right. So I'll be armed.
Now, can he be armed? Can you be armed in there?
It's a fine line on the battlefield. I don't think we're actually allowed to. I mean, if it's in the car, you can, because it's a extension of your own. But
wink.
Wink, wink, because that one is that one's a
it's a
fine line thing. So I'm not 100% positive.
Carrying a Byrna. So if everybody knows what a Byrna is, it is a personal protection device, a PPD. It fires a solid marble, and it fires it at about 260 feet per second. and it is not considered a firearm. It is considered a personal protection device.
That you can carry. Yeah, that anything.
It looks just like a 9mm Glock. So, you know. So now, Wayne, I want to, during our investigations, I'd like to show some footprints that we've gotten. I try to whip through this as fast as I can. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely, sir.
All right, sir.
Which one do you want me to pull up, or you want to show something? Okay.
I'm just gonna hold them up, and we'll go from there. So I want to talk about the first one. We took this out of the area in Northern California. If you'd like to know where the area is, it is called Stumpy Meadows. Since I am not there anymore, you guys can knock yourself out. It is called Stumpy Meadows. It is right outside of Georgetown. You can look it up, and you can see it in there. It is ran by the Berkeley School. Yeah, it is carry a flamethrower. It is it's open to the public, but on the sign itself, it says that they are doing experimental stuff there, and it's kind of a weird place to go. But this is where we got the majority of our footprints, and this is also where our family was at. So my first footprint I'm going to show you. If I get my dog not to bark here. So my first print I'm going to show you. Now remember, you guys, when you look at these, just because you don't see the whole, I'm looking at them. They look like footprints. But the first one I'm going to show you is the depth of a heel. And this is a heel mark. So here's my footprint. So you can see there's toes here. Right up in here. And here is the heel. Right here. And if you turn this up, you can see how deep the heel is to the foot.
Oh.
The reason why it's like that, where we casted it, it was very muddy, and they were stepping down into the mud, and it compressed the mud, and then they took the step. So this big hump, this lump right here is actually the heel mark. Okay, so that's my first one. Now they're going to get better. Here we go. The next one is all, now there's two of them, actually three of them I'm going to show you that I still keep from Northern California from 27 years ago, okay? But these are all recent, and I'll give you the dates. This one is November 2018. This was Stumpy Meadows also. Let me turn it this way. Let me see. So there is my. See the code there? And this is about 19 inches long, and it's about 8.5 inches wide. Okay. Here goes another one.
Daryl, we got to get some of these here in Tennessee.
Oh yeah. So here's one that looks a little deformed, but it was actually just the way the mud was. So there's 5 toes there. And this is the heel down here where my fingers are at. And this one is 17 by 8. Okay. This was April of 2017. And this one is 17 by 9. Okay. Then I'm going to break out the Big Daddy here. This one is actually 22 inches long and is 10 inches wide.
Mm.
Now, believe it or not, really is toes there, but the lighting doesn't give it justice. But there is toes here. There's one here. Let me see if I can get it up here. There's one here. Here's number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay.
That's like our little bitty one.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'll show you the ones I took out of Northern California. Here's the first one. This was taken February at Inderts Beach, 1992.
Wow. That was actually a really good one.
And this one is 15 inches and it's 9 inches wide. Okay. And this is a baby. This is the baby. Now this one is 13 inches by 7.
Look how wide it is.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna breathe. Okay. Now my next two. Another one here. This is my showpiece, and this one is taken out of Inderts Beach. It is going to be 17 inches long, and it's going to be 9 inches wide. And this is my what I call my showpiece. This is the footprint that I carry with me all the time. I let people take pictures with it. I've actually taken this footprint, and everywhere I go, this is my print that I allow people to hold and take pictures with. So this is my pride and joy right here. So.
Very nice. Now, what was the soil condition?
It's all sand. Inderts Beach is like a big. It's part of the ocean. What it is Inderts Beach. There is the Smith River that flows in there, and there's Hoopa and Tolowa Indians up there. And I would go out when they had the nets up, the salmon nets, and they would allow me to go out there and cast footprints. So then, I keep that footprint in this. So that's my first box. Okay, Wayne, here comes your favorite piece, all right? So this box, it's called a pelican box. If you guys ever have something that you really want to keep, I recommend pelican boxes by far. They are moisture free. You can throw them in the water. They float forever. But they don't, nothing gets wet from them. And I'll give you kind of a background story of this. I was taught how to do bait traps. Now, I don't know if anybody knows what a bait trap is.
Tell the story of that, Daryl. I think that's absolutely genius how you got it.
During my investigation, during my sighting, Al Hodgson told me how to create a bait trap. Now you got to remember, you guys, I didn't know up from down back then. I was protecting my family at the same time I was being harassed by the community. And I was just obsessed all of a sudden. I wanted Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Bigfoot. And honestly, I had hoax written across my my garage, across my driveway. We couldn't leave our house without being harassed. It was really bad back then. So when Al came to my house, we went out, and he asked me if we knew what a bait trap was. I said, no, I don't know. He goes, grab a couple of burlap bags. Burlap bags were like potato sacks. And he says, put some sand in the bags, and we're going to go out. I said, okay. So we filled up with sand, and I had a post hole digger, the kind that had the scoop in the end. You put it down in there, you spread the things, and you pick the dirt up. He goes, dig down about 3 feet. So I dug a hole, about 12 inches around, the size of a plate. And he said, now what I want you to do, and we were up in the forest, so humping the sand up in there was real bad. He said, dig a hole, and what I want you to do is take the sand that you got out of the creek bed and put it around the hole. Put it around the hole. And he says, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to make 2 or 3 different ones. I want you to put meat in one, fruit in one, and candy in one. So we made 3 of these holes in different sections of the forest. Well, we left them overnight, and we went back the next morning, and ended up with squirrel in one. The fruit went to squirrels and deers. The second one was raw meat. There was absolutely no footprints. anything. There was nothing there. Then the third one, there was actually a footprint, a knee print, and a hand print in the sand. So we casted it, and believe it or not, it was the candy one. And I'm sure if you're a regular listener, if you have ever heard me on here before, I've always said I've taken Reese's Pieces out. Well, that's their candy of choice up there. I used to always use it, but I ended up with this. Let me scoot back a little bit.
Absolutely amazing.
There we go. So you can see the ridges in the fingers. Here's my hand. So I had scans done of it, and it came back as something other than a primate because it does have the ridges on the fingers. There's called flex things of some sort. It has the palm, this part of your hand. Here's the base of it right here. That's the pad. And there's the thumb. And if it would have been a gorilla or something like that, it would not have had a thumb. It would have been turned. So that is, and it is 14 inches from the tip of the middle finger to the pad. And I think it's 19 inches wide. But this is my other pride and joy, and I keep this in a box, and I keep it locked up, and I keep it very safe because, like I said, there's only been 6 handprints ever taken, and 4 of them have been proven real, and mine is documented as real by a place in California.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, I was going to say you didn't want to mention the place,
No,
did you?
I'm not going to mention anybody because you have the papers. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen the documentation, and I will tell you that it's very, very reputable. But it's a place that probably everyone watching this show has heard of.
Hey, Wayne, pull that one up from Dana. You answered it, but I want to hear give Daryl have a chance to answer that too. See what he says.
930. This one right here. Yeah.
Yeah, Dana's. Yeah.
I have a question. They take environmental DNA of possible nests. How come I've never seen them take soil samples from a Bigfoot print? Wouldn't that make most sense? And I commented that there has been talk about it because I listened to Bigfoot and Beyond with Cliff and Bobo. And I've heard Cliff talk about doing this a couple of times, and it's taking the soil from the bottom of a print. You know, Daryl, whenever you pull a print out of the ground, there's soil attached to it. Well, we're starting to do environmental DNA studies. Wouldn't it make most sense to get some studies from that soil where the print actually stepped?
Here's what I have heard also. Now, I don't use hairspray. People have said when you find a footprint, you spray it with hairspray, then you pour the plaster in. I don't use anything. I just pour the plaster in. Whatever I get.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So the thing about it is that I have heard personally that it contaminates the soil when you pour the plaster Paris in there. Now, if you were to take a soil sample out of the footprint, you are now altering the original footprint. So
Yep.
you're kind of at a sticky situation because you've taken soil from something that is original and you've altered it. So I don't know. I've had DNA stuff done. I've gotten in trouble. But I've had DNA stuff done, and I've just I don't guess I don't have an answer for you, but I have never had DNA taken from the bottom of a cast because
to me that makes the most sense. I'm with her. This is soil that actually touched the bottom of a Sasquatch foot.
Right.
And if you're doing environmental DNA studies from a nest where they sleep, you would think with 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds of pressure coming down on soil, you're going to leave some skin cells or something in that soil.
True. I agree. And I don't think be honest with you guys, I don't think I've ever even thought about doing that.
You know, it could be the same way. It's harder to find a hair in anything nest too. The hair just all of a sudden just disappears. I mean,
you guys, hair is not hard to find. You just got to keep your eyes up off the ground.
Well, I'm talking about like in a nest when people go looking in a nest and
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Right. So I'm sorry if I didn't answer the question, you guys. I'm not. I don't do.
You did. You did. We caught you off guard. You said it's something you hadn't really considered much.
I do have two real nice batches of hair though. Yeah, look just like Wayne's hair. So, you know.
You have two other than the one that I have?
Oh yeah. I have 2 buckets of it. 2 little tiny those little evidence kit things I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 of those.
Were they clumped up?
Nope. Ours are clear and clean.
Okay, you know how mine was the one that we found when?
Oh yeah.
The one that I had, it was kind of clumped up in a ball.
Yeah. Ours was clumped up in a tree. Yes.
Okay.
And they smell. So yes, I have.
That stinks.
I have those put away. They're sacred. So, and if anybody ever does DNA study and you send your hair someplace, make sure you save some of it and send it someplace that you trust, or walk it in and watch them do whatever they're going to do to it, because you will lose it. And if it comes back something other than human or bear or whatever if it comes back as a Gigantopithecus, I'll guarantee you're going to lose it. You won't get it back.
You probably don't want to go into that, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll leave that alone then.
Now, when we were out doing our Bigfoot research, now I think, Wayne, I sent you some pictures of a gate, 2 steps with a arrow point between the 2 footprints.
I didn't get that one uploaded.
Okay, that's all right. Our average Bigfoot steps was about 48 inches apart between steps. I actually I measured it one time, then I casted the prints. And another thing is, and I always say this to you guys, and when I'm on the air, I always say, keep your eyes on the horizon and in the trees, and that really has something. You really got to watch the trees, you guys, because there's hair in the trees. I'm 6 foot tall. I think Wayne's about 5'11". I don't know how tall Jasper is over there.
Hey, buddy, I'm 6 foot tall. Okay, buddy.
Are you 6 foot?
Yeah.
Well, so that's all right. I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm shrinking in my old age, but I used to be 6 foot tall.
Yeah, right. And when you're walking, keep your eyes on the trees, you guys, especially on game trails. Look at everything. We were actually out. We actually saw broken tree limbs 7, 8 feet tall above our heads, and there was nothing above it that could have broken it. It just was broken trees. I've had in California, I've come across territorial markers. I've had trees pushed over. Kelly and I, one afternoon, we went to a place and we walked this trail. We followed this creek bed and went down the left side of the creek bed, walked back about a mile, turned around and came back. And when we came back, there were 2 trees pushed over with a footprint. And it was getting dark and we were both pretty creeped out. We tried to stay and cast the footprint, but ended up pulling the cast too soon and we broke it. So, but that was really scary because those trees were not broken until we got past them, and then something pulled them over. And they were pulled over. They were broken at about 3 or 4 feet. One was broken way up high. So it was that was a frightening moment for us.
I
seen where she Dana also come back to say about, which I never thought about. If there's some way we could do it or be able to climb a tree and check out the nest, I bet she had a good idea that hair could be in that because birds pick up stuff. And what the thing, like a nest would have a hair in it. I mean,
that's true.
That was a pretty good thing there.
I know when I get a haircut, I throw my hair outside. So.
All right, I'm just looking at these pictures. See what else we can share real quick. There's
here we go. Now that one is.
That was on the ground.
See, that's the brown one. I think that is this one. Let me make sure. Nope, that's not that one. That is in my other box. So I do have that print. That is at that's up. There was a fire in California in 2018 called the Kingsvale Fire. And okay, that one is this one. That one is this one.
We can't see it yet, Daryl. The picture's blocking.
Right. Oh, that's right. So I have that. I have that footprint. That's my big one. That's my biggest one.
That's a pretty good imprint right there, too.
Yeah, there was two of those. The second one didn't take because it was on an incline, and it was pretty smudged up. And another thing, you guys, if you look at the footprint, I never take anything out of it. I leave the sticks and everything else in it when I cast it because I want it original. I don't want to dig anything out of it. And even the back, if you look at the back, oops.
You with me, guys?
It still
hey, I lost feed there for a minute.
That's okay. This still has a vine attached to it. So a lot of my prints, I will break up sticks out in the off the ground, and I'll put sticks in here to give some of the cast itself. But this is that picture. The picture that you have, this is that print. This is my big one. So there it is right there.
Alright. See what else we got. Tried to pull that one up before.
That's the one he just showed.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I missed all this. Mine was frozen. It wouldn't let me.
That's us casting that one.
Okay.
Dang, Wayne, that looks better than what we can't do nothing like that pretty.
That's 30 years of practice right there.
We always now with us, and I think I touched base with you guys before this. When you do an evidence kit, make sure that you have rubber gloves, a measuring tape, something that you can take little hairs in. We have these little plastic cups, and they're $1 at the dollar store. You can get 5 or 6 of them. We carry them around with us. A pin. I have a snake kit in mine. I have a spider bite kit in mine. Make sure you have some kind of kits in case you get bitten or you get attacked by bees or something. Always make sure you're prepared. We have 2 backpacks. One's an evidence kit, and the other one is all plaster Paris. I have plaster Paris and water and a bowl and a spoon because you don't always have water available. Yeah, the pack is heavy. I'll give you that. But, it's better to be prepared than unprepared, especially if you really find something that you want to take and keep and you have no plaster of Paris. You take a few pictures and it's gone. When you get a print, this is these things people say, oh, it could be anything. Well, you're right. It could be anything. But
Plaster of Paris, right, Daryl?
Plaster of Paris, and I've used hydroclimat or something, some kind of dental stuff. It's supposed to harden faster, but I've also found out that plaster of Paris, if you keep it dry, lasts forever. I talked to Cliff Brackman one time in California because I asked him if he'd be willing to make a copy for me of the handprint, and there was a communications back and forth whether or not I was going to send it to him, and I bailed out. I didn't send it to him. But
you know what, Daryl, it's odd that you bring that up. It's odd that we're even doing this show because before we had it lined up, I had a buddy of mine that I've met in the Bigfoot community. He's going to be coming up on an episode coming up, but he texted me out of the blue and asked me if we had ever, I didn't know if he thought whose the handprint was, but he asked if we had ever made a copy of that handprint.
No.
And I told him, I said, well, it's not mine, but the guy who has it, I think he's kind of weary about doing it, worried about breaking it. I mean, have you considered making any copies? Because I'd love to have a copy.
I've considered it, but I don't want it broken. Now, when I pass, somebody's going to get it. So, I'm up there. I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore, but somebody's going to get it.
I want one before that. You're going to be here for 30 more years, Daryl.
But I've had this for so long, you guys, that I'm just afraid to give it to anybody. I really am. I mean, it's in a lockbox. I keep a lock on it. I've kept it in a safe place. And
I mean, there's this putty lock stuff, and I'd have to find out exactly what it is. But you buy it by the bucket, and you spread it out, and you push the print into it, and it's very, very. You know what I'm talking about? It's very soft, and you press it, and it makes a mold. It makes a mold, and then you pour the plaster of Paris in that mold.
You mean Connect Sand?
It's not like Connect Sand it doesn't harden. This stuff, you push it and it hardens.
Oh, kind of like what they show on TV where you can put your hands in it and you can put your hands in it and something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But you just lay it out, pour it out flat, push the handprint on top of it, and it creates a mold of the handprint.
Yeah,
it shouldn't do any damage to the print.
Yeah, it wouldn't do no damage to it.
Well, I'll make you a deal, and this is on YouTube. If you can figure out without damaging my handprint, you're more than welcome to a copy.
Okay, well, let's do that. Anybody, y'all out there, if y'all know what we're talking about, here, Duke says something. Duke says, make a silicone cast. You can make all the copies you want from the cast.
Yep.
I don't know how to do that. That's one of those things that I was offered to do that, to make a cast. But here's another thing. And once again, you guys, I'm sorry. I apologize for my weirdness. I don't want people to make profit off of this.
Right.
No, that's not weird. That's not weird at all.
Do you understand what I mean? This is. Yeah. I have documentation about this. I have legitimate documentation of where this came from, who casted it, me, and then you get 30 or 40 copies out there, and somebody, oh, this is the original. No, it's not the original. I have the original. So,
right.
People are gonna. It's not that I'm a greedy, because I'm not. I'm just nervous. I don't want it broken. I mean, I've protected this thing for 27 years, and I've guarded it with my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes in.
Yeah, and I understand that you would hate to. I would hate if it was mine and I casted it, because that's a big deal. Like you said, there's only 4 of them in existence.
Yeah.
And you have one of them. Yeah. And that was if it was me that had it and I made a copy to give to someone, and that person got mad at me and started making copies and selling them off and making a profit off my handprint, I would be upset too. I don't think that's weird at all.
But Wayne, I will tell you that I trust you. I trust you. I know you personally. So if you can figure out how to make it without damaging it, I'm game. I will be there with it, though. I'll be honest with you. I want to be there when you do it. So, I
wouldn't do it unless you did it.
Over your left shoulder, you can hang it on your wall back there by that coat.
I got to get my patty foot hanging up there. That's something else. I've got a patty foot, and it's not an original. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But I bought it. I bought it at the Gatlinburg conference last year.
About
But
50
it's
bucks.
supposed to be. It was. I think I paid like $30 for it.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be a print of Patty's foot.
Right.
And I guess it's still at the other place, so I got to go get it. But yeah, man, I'd love to hang it up.
See, I don't.
Logbeer here says probably some YouTube videos how to make a mold. The original cast.
Okay, now I've watched I've watched some YouTube videos how to cast them or how to make molds and stuff like that, and I've watched them take. I guess it'd be silicone, and they brush on a stroke and they let it dry, and then they do another one, and they let it dry. But then when it's dry and it's ready to come out of that case, they're pulling that stuff off and they're bending it, and it's like, oh my God. And I'm thinking to myself, all it's going to take is me to push on the fingers once and pop, it's gone. Because I have a casted print right there, believe it or not, sitting right there, that Kelly and I went out and found this print on January 1st, 2018, and I call it the dino print. It kind of looks like a dinosaur. And I showed you a bit of it. Kelly says it's a big hand print. I call it a dino print. But it's huge. It's broken because I didn't let it. Something spooked me in the woods, and I pulled it up and broke it, but I saved it, But
if you're talking about what I'm thinking, that thing's massive. That's like 4 or 5 feet, ain't it?
No, it's probably 3 feet, maybe by 27, 28 inches from the tip of the toe to the pad. So it's big, but it's 5-toed. Yeah, if I could figure out how to. I don't want to pour plaster and dip it in it because then it ruins it. So I just kind of put it together.
Yeah,
but I've had it for a long time. But that's
we'll figure it out.
If you can,
if it's not 100%, if you're not 100% okay with it, then it won't happen. I don't have to have it that bad.
As long as I'm there with it, I don't care. I mean, I trust you. So yeah, let's try to figure out how we can do this. Because honestly, I have a Bigfoot head, a bust that was made for me about 10, 15 years ago. That I'd like to learn how to make a copy of that also.
That was behind you last time you were on.
Yes, sir. It's now on the fireplace mantle over there to my right.
Yeah, you showed me that before.
Yeah. But I would like to get that taken care of too. I'd like to learn how to do that. But my handprint, I'm petrified of even pulling it out of the case. You know what I mean? And I think you're like number 4 that's ever held it in 20 years, 26, 27 years. So.
Wow. Well, it's an honor. It really is. And again, I mean, for the doubters out there, if someone could say that thing is hoaxed, tell me how.
Nah.
Tell me how somebody hoaxed it. I mean, you can see the fingerprints in it. You can see ridges. It's a hand. It's a giant hand. There is no mistaking it, and it's not like a monkey. Monkeys have a specific type of hand. This looks like just a giant human hand.
Yeah. With
fingerprints and ridges and everything else. It's so impressive. It really is cool.
We had one that we thought we had, didn't you, one time?
I've still got it. It's nothing compared.
Well, yeah.
To that.
I mean, we have a hand, but it's not. It's not as big as that. I mean, not near it, but.
Actually, it's almost the exact same measurements, but the detail is nowhere near.
Right.
Is. And the way you got it is more cool than the actual piece, I think. Just the thought that went into that, and
if you think about how it was created, when you put your hand down on something. I'm sorry, that was my phone went off. I'm sorry.
You can have it. You can have it. Yeah, you can have that hand laser scan. Everybody's saying it. Laser scan it. and they can make copies from the laser scan.
Oh,
that's over my head, man. I have no idea how to do that.
I'm old, you guys. I don't know all that stuff. I will tell you that I did take it to a primate center, and I had them do scans of it, and they did come back and say it is not human, and it's not ape or gorilla, but it is something. And they did a lot. Now, if you look at the fingers, so imagine putting your hand down in sand and leaning forward to grab something out of a hole. So you would put a lot of pressure on the fingers themselves.
Yes.
So if you see the details, just like our fingers, there's little pads there, and all of the weight was on the fingers.
Do you still have it handy, Daryl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's right here.
Show it.
I mean, you can tell by
what was
that picture you just have up there. I mean, you can see even Daryl's hands ridges. I mean, you can tell it's a. I mean, there's no even Andre the Giant didn't have hands that big. I mean, he had big hands, but not even that big.
And look at like that's a good point, Walls. Look at his hands, the ridges, and everything else compared to that one. I mean, they look similar. Hold it back up, bud.
Let me see which way I'm going. There we go.
Yeah.
And if I turn it like this, let me see if I can. Kind of weird. Yeah, there we go.
There.
Wow.
Yeah, right there is a good spot.
Now look at your own hand, but look how these are.
Hey, Walls.
What?
Walls, take yourself off the. Hold on, I can do it. We're gonna put it up to where Daryl is the only one on screen, so it could be a little bit bigger.
So if you look at your own hand, let me make sure I'm going the right way. There we go. Oh, this way. There we go. Now, if you look at your own hands, you see how the fingertips are so much larger, and so are the smaller pads. So we're talking about something that's extremely muscular too, but it's all weight on the fingers reaching down inside that hole to get the candy out.
Yeah, I never considered that, Daryl, and I had noticed how you can see so much more of the fingers.
Right.
But the point that you just made makes so much sense. That if you're leaning forward to do something, you're going to put more weight.
Put pressure on your fingers. And this piece right here is actually your pad right here.
Yeah.
And then the bottom part down here is actually your pad. So considering now, if you could, you can't see depth, but here the fingers are about that wide from the back of the calf. This part down here, this part down here is about that wide. But look how skinny it is in the middle. That's because there was no weight given. There's no weight.
Right.
There's no weight pressure here, but the hand is still defined.
Yeah.
And there is fingerprints, dermal ridges on the middle finger, the ring finger, and part of the bottom of the pinky finger down here. So
Kirk's pretty much he got that right. He's imagining getting smacked with that 30-pound hand.
could you imagine that attached to an arm? Ooh.
Oh,
Trust me, we've thought about that several times when we first went out. I was like, man, I don't want to mess with one.
People talk about it being the size of a catcher's mitt, and it really is. Or the size of a skillet, an old cast iron skillet.
An old skillet.
That looks bigger than a. I've got an old cast iron skillet, and it looks bigger than that.
It's Did you upload the pictures of the measurements, Wayne?
No, I don't. I didn't.
Okay, hold on. I can get it for you real fast. I don't have them here, so I've got to. I'll just go into where your hand is here, and I'll. Give me just a sec, you guys.
Well, I've got to get going in a bit and get in bed. I got to get up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Get ready to leave.
Yeah,
so.
I do too. We're going over an hour.
Go ahead and finish that up. That's all right. It's good. It's got a hand. Guys, while he's getting the measurements, be ready for Sunday. Please share. Give us the thumbs up. Subscribe. We're going to be out there, and y'all might see me get scared again because I got scared last time, and I'm going to make sure
What you talking about mine? They're going to see you get scared.
Look, I don't want to hear it. You're sitting at home. I don't want to hear it.
The smart one right here.
The hand is 10.5 inches wide from the pinky to the far side of the thumb. That's wide. And then it is 12.5 inches long from the middle finger to the pad.
12.5, so a foot.
A foot. Yeah.
That's a foot.
So basically a plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's not very big, so.
That's ridiculous. All right, let's like Walls was saying, guys, be looking out for us Sunday night. Be looking out for these two gentlemen and their lovely, brave wives that will be joining them. So, what do you think, guys? Y'all want to meet up? You guys meet together, and we'll kind of start the show.
Oh, sure.
Or
yeah.
I
want to meet up with you, Wayne. I want to meet up with you, Wayne, and get the. I definitely want to get the radios, the thermal and the radios.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just give you my bag. You can just take all the equipment. Just use what you need.
Okay.
So I want to thank you guys once again for allowing me to share my stuff with you guys. If anybody has any questions that didn't get answered tonight, please write Wayne, and Wayne will forward them to me, and then I will answer them the best I can. If any questions, anybody out there could please help us figure out how to do a casting of this thing. I would appreciate that too.
I know one thing. The next time we go camping, since I got me a truck now, got me a Bigfoot truck now, we're gonna get some sand to go with it next time, and we're gonna try that. If you don't mind, Daryl, we're gonna try. I'm gonna get.
I don't care.
He's been telling me for over a year to do it. He don't care. We got to get some post hole diggers.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'll take a regular shovel and just dig a hole.
No, we need post hole diggers, I think.
Get some sand, and you got to hump the sand to the hole, but dig the hole, put the sand around the hole, put some kind of food, mostly probably candy, and then leave it alone for 24 hours and go back and just see what kind of prints are in there. Footprint, handprint, deer.
Yeah.
Got to remember, there's a lot of animals out there. Might even be able to catch a couple of good-sized dog prints. But
we're definitely going to try it. I'm excited. I want to try it and get ready for this little thing. I hope we get. Like I said, if you guys, hopefully since he'll have his wife with him, and they have the recordings, maybe we'll catch some more stuff on the recording like we did on the last live show. I mean, it was there. It's kind of spooky, but it's also exciting. So, guys, you tune in. I'm gonna get to bed. I got a long day tomorrow. You guys be safe out there if y'all do get out. Daryl, I'll see you Sunday.
Right. I'll see you on Sunday.
We'll catch y'all guys here in a little while. We'll finish it up there, Wayne.
All right, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, I'll say my goodbyes real quick. Guys, everybody, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Everybody, all our regulars, everyone, even saw a couple of new faces tonight. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. We love you guys. Yeah, we appreciate it. You got anything else, Daryl?
One last word for me. Same thing I say at the end of every show. Keep your eyes on the horizon and in the trees. God bless y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys. See y'all next time.